Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to build basic tank tracks on Little Big Planet 3. This is something that took me quite a while to do. So first you want to open your puppet up. I normally make mine out of metal. I've found that dented metal is pretty good for this. So you take your dented metal, you get a circle and you put your medium snap grid on. You make your circle as small as it will go and make sure it's central in one of the squares, and then you make a plate that is too wide. That's absolutely fine. What you then want to do is you want to pop down into here and you want to find yourself, here we go, an object, a material tweaker. You want to click in here and you can turn your snap grid off for this part. Okay, shrink it down. Now we're going to pop it smack bang or thereabouts in the middle of there. What we're going to do then is we're going to go square over the material tweaker, and we want this to be indestructible. Okay, right, that's fine, that's set. Now what we want to do is we want to take this and we want to copy it using L3, and then we're going to put the grid snap back on to medium, and we're going to take it up and out of the way and shrink it so it's a really thin piece. So you'll see now that's gone to a really thin piece. Instead of being that wide, I've taken it down and it's now basically a front plate. What will happen with that is it'll slide over the front. Okay, you place that there. Okay, now what you want to do is you can, oh, I've still got hold of it. You come down to here, you're going to take this tank track and you're going to copy it. You're going to move it across it 2, place it, across 2, place it, across 2, place it, and you're going to turn it 90 degrees, 1, 2, turn it, and you're basically going to do this and make yourself a little rectangle. So I'll flip through this here. We're not going to worry about that front plate being there because it's going to slop down behind it, which is what I was saying. Excellent. Now you're going to take this one and you're going to want to put that there, copy it, and the same again. Move it 2, move it 2, rotate it 90. And so it's basically the same process. And we're going to take it round like so. Right, next thing. What we're going to do now, right, we're going to do the wheels inside it. What you want here is basic rubber. Okay, where is it? Let's find it. Here's the basic rubber. We want a circle, obviously, because you're not going to make a square roll. I'm going to pop it in there, and we're going to build the size up. We're not going to go over big. Have one there like that, and we'll make the front wheel a tiny bit. Oh, actually, I think I could go with the same size one. In fact, what I'm going to do is I will copy that. Yeah, I'm sure I can fit that in right there without it sticking. Okay, now what you want to do on these is you want to change their properties so they become a static object. That's what we're going to do in a minute, is what's going to form the tank tracks, but you want to be able to manoeuvre these wheels without them falling out of the sky. Okay, so they're both on static. Now, what we do now is we take our whole item. Oh no, we don't. Hang on, forgotten. Something very important that I forgot to do there. We're going to come in here, we're going to come up to the top here, and we're going to get ourselves a standard bolt. We're going to put our grid snap down to small, and we're going to come here, and this should automatically snap to each little edge of your front plate. And this is what's going to hold your tank tracks in place and stop them from falling apart. The reason we have put the indestructible on there is because when you get the weight of the actual body of the tank on here rolling along on them, if you don't have them on there, it rips the tracks to pieces. I've had many a failed track only recently have I sussed the best way to actually get them to work. It's not an easy job. Okay, so you've got that. We're going to turn it like that. And all we're going to do here, we're going to come off of there and we're going to unpause it. And then they're going to hang like that. But then what we're going to do, and this is the best bit, we're going to take the grid snap off completely, and we're going to grab that one. And we're going to stretch our tank tracks out like that. There we go. In fact, if I'm really clever, I can leave that a bit loose, so it's hanging like that. I could always pop a smaller wheel in, up here, and we'll have that like that. We'll do some sort of triangular tank tracks today. So now you've got your basic things. They're not going to move. They're all in there nice and securely. I can grab them, I can move them around. Oh, I shouldn't have moved that one maybe. Let's just get it back in position. That's better. Okay, so there's still some slack there, which is what we like to see. Okay, we're going to take these, we're going to twist them round, and we're going to bring them down, and we're going to donk it on the floor like so. Then we're just going to pop our snap grid on to small and lift it up a couple so it's not touching the floor. And you can place it there then. Now, at this point, it would be advisable for me to get up from under the tank tracks. Actually, that was not a good idea. Let's rewind it. And without unpausing it. Right, you're going to want to be paused, so they sit like that. Now, those wheels are all static at the moment, so no matter what you do to them, they are not going to turn. So, first things first, you need a back plate, just for the wheels to bolt onto. Doesn't matter what you make this out of, but I'm going to stick with the theme, and I'm going to go with a nice, I'll go with a scratched steel on this one. We're going to do the same again with a circle, but we're going to make it one thick, so it's literally a front plate, and you want it at the back of this. Now for this, you turn your grid snap off again, you don't need it. You come down here, and as long as these wheels here attach centrally to the back plate, you shouldn't have a problem. Okay, so I can now just gently bring that up there, curl it round, bring it back down as neat as possible. It's not going to be seen. So I've left a gap at the bottom for clearance. Right, now seeing as it's paused, and we're not going to unpause it for a little while, we're going to take that and make it dynamic. We're going to make this one dynamic, and we're going to make this one dynamic. Just check I've got that in the right place. Now, this is where it all gets a bit crafty. First things first, we are quite possibly going to take another one of these, copy that wheel there, bring it down here. Oh, no, look, it's just you have to be very careful about where you're putting them. And just there should do it. Now, I want this one to just touch on the bottom there. So, now you're going to put your motor bolts in. You take your motor bolt, before you place it, you want to put your speed up, I'm going to say about 200, okay? And they're going to want to be on speed scale. Right, once you've set one, that's what it will stay on. So I want that should automatically snap to the centre of the wheel, just there like that. And the same with that, because there's a back plate on it, it should automatically want to place in the middle. And I'm also going to put one up there, just to aid with the running of the track. However, on the bottom one, which I have noticed is not quite central, so we'll just move that attach. On the bottom one there, what we're going to want to do is put just a standard bolt. And that's going to clip it to that back section. Now, in order to glue these, and if you can have just a single track machine, I think it looks a bit shoddy really, because you'd never see a tank with just one track. So what we do is we select the whole thing, we take it, we put a grid snap back on, only to small, that's fine. We copy it, we move it back using L2 twice. Okay, we place it there, bang. This part now gets a little bit awkward. Okay, you need to come in here and make the back plate invisible. So you need to put a little plate on there that basically, actually, yeah, I need a little plate in there that basically is going to glue them together. So we're going to take just another little bit of metal. I'm going to use a different colour so I can see it. You don't have to, but it probably is advisable. And we're going to make sure it's the right size. Now this has got to be too wide, so too wide and quite thin, and it's got to go and touch. So I believe that is on the same level as it. It's got to go back one more because it wants to touch the very, very back plate. That's right. Now, you can turn your grid snap off for this because you need to be able to see what you're doing. What you do is you place that there. I do believe I might have just, I have just dug into the tyre there. Okay, let's see. Oh, I've done it again. Oh, Rick, come on. So annoying this game at times. Right, okay. It's not dug in the tyre. Thank God for that. Right, now what we're going to do is we're going to come out of here and we're going to go into our little tools bag. I'm going to skip across and you're going to want advanced glue this middle section here. So I'll zoom into it and click on that. I want to disappear it and then glue it bang onto that back plate. But then I also want to, again, use L1 to bring everything back, glue it to the front plate. Okay. Right, now, strictly speaking, if I was to unpause this now, those tank tracks should bugger off down the road. However, I wouldn't be able to catch them because they're set to 200. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little platform on now. This was the reason I put the thing between so that they would join together properly. Now, I'm not going to go too heavy with the stuff that I put on from now on, because that's how you're going to bust your tracks. So we're going to go with papier-mâché, or paper-mâché as it's in here. I've always been told that it's papier-mâché, but it says it's paper-mâché. I nearly called it papa-mâché. Right, so we're going to go with that. And you just want a normal square shape you can add to it at any time. We're going to come down, and I think I was actually in the right place. I was. So for now, I'm just going to build, how long is it? It's about, I'll have it sticking out from the front so you can actually see our sackpot. Right, and again, you're going to want to use your advanced glue tool. Your advanced glue tool is your friend. Oh, don't tilt it. No, he's tilting it. He's got it. Right, just leave it there a minute. Vanish the back plate. You can vanish the wheel. And you just press L2 to do that. L1 to bring them back. Come back in here. Advanced glue. Click on that. And we zoom in. And that plate that we put in there before, you want to advance glue it to that. Nothing else. Nothing else at all. Okay? Or you will stop it from moving. And that's so annoying when you put in so much work and then it doesn't work. Now, in order to be able to control this, you need what Little Big Planet calls a controlinator, which is, that was it. It's this little box here. You can take that. Now, you don't want your snap grid on when you put this on, because otherwise you won't be able to get it to just craftily sit on the top. I don't even know if I've got that the right way at the moment. If it turned right, that's the way it should be. If you move as it comes up, if you rotate it to the left with the right stick, it will have it, if you place it on top, as though he is actually sitting forwards, or should, and facing the front. You watch, I'll stuff this up now and it will make me look like a complete donkey. I don't know why that's wonky. Okay, but what we want to do is we want a way of getting off of the controlinator. So you take your triangle button and you come down here until it says eject player. That's wired in. Now, obviously we want our left stick to control our movement. Let's bring the controlinator down a bit so you can maybe see a bit better. Okay, so we want our left stick output, left and right, is going to need to come to this, and this. But then we're going to need to make that vanish. Oh, okay, I've got to come off of there first. We need to vanish the wheels. I'm going to need to vanish the plate there as well, just so I can get to the other wheels with the wire, because they also need to be wired to this switch as well. So we'll take this. Remember, we've already set the speed and everything on these. So that's the rear one wired now. That's the other rear one. We've already set the speed before we place them. So now I can make everything come back and it doesn't roll away. Which is awesome, because it's not meant to. And you can disappear this by pressing R1 on it. Disappear it. Make it vanish. Whatever. But what I am going to do, which was a bit silly, I shouldn't have made that go yet. Just so that we can see what we're doing, we need to put a little game camera on here. Wherever it is. There it is. We're going to just pump. We're going to pump that there. We're going to pop that just down there. And we're going to wire it to not the PS button, because that's a bit strange. Oh, there's well, that's new on Little Big Planet 3, and I've never noticed that. You can control by tilting. I'm not going to try it. I'll do it the standard way for now. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's go. Right, we'll pop that into there. Yeah, I didn't realise you can actually now wire right and down on your D-pad up as well, which is pretty good. So, we can come in here, the angle and zoom. Now this is what it's going to look like when we get on our vehicle. Every time we enter our vehicle, it'll go to this camera angle. So, just so you can see, there you go. Let's have a little bit of a jaunty angle like that. Okay. Now, because I've got that wired to that middle button, up, wherever it is, up here, that will automatically activate once I select the control-o-meter. Now what I do need to do is just make sure it doesn't track the player. Otherwise that'll zoom in on your bloke permanently and you won't ever have the angle that you wanted to have. Okay, I know it sounds a bit weird, but you'll see what I mean. Okay, so now we can get rid of that. We can walk up to our tank, we can press triangle, and we're on it. Now, if I press right on the stick, it's going to be a little bit unbalanced, but there we go. That is your basic tank. Now you can double those wheels up now. You could have them. I've actually made one that's got two sets of these wheels on, one at the front, one at the back. They're pivoted. Well, I've done a wheelie. Whoa! I quite like that. It's like a bucking bronco. Look at that. Whoa! Oh yeah, massive wheelie. I like it. We'll do it one more time. Ready? Wheelie! Oh yes! Monstrous wheelie. I quite like this one actually. It's a wheelie machine. Oh look. That is awesome. Right, but as you can see, they're pretty indestructible. You can do. I did a stoppie there. You can do wheelies and stoppies. You can do that right on the end. Oi! Stoppie. There you go. See, they're pretty indestructible. They don't break. Now, there's a lot more you can do with them. An awful lot more you can do with them. So, I mean, they're not meant to do that. That's because I've got the balance of them. And obviously, because I've put it on speed scale, it means I don't have to go full throttle straight away. So not every time I move is it going to go and pull a wheelie or stop like that. Because I could just go, the less I move the stick, the less speed I move. And what I do like is they run quite independently, the tracks. You'll see that they're not exactly even now, because obviously where I've been messing around, they've slipped, and so they don't run exactly even, which I quite like. There we go, one more wheelie, just there we go. Right, I'm going to end the video there. I think I've given you a pretty good idea on how to build them. Like they're not too hard. they're taxing. But what you can do here now is, once you've got a platform, you can build on that platform. Just don't go over the top with the weight, because once you start doing that and putting the tracks under too much stress, it will mess them up. But with standard weight on, you know, they're pretty good little things. Anyway, that's that tutorial wrapped up. I'll hopefully be posting some more. I've got a couple of other things that I've been able to build over the years, things like walkers. I actually built a submarine that worked, which was pretty impressive. I've got my other tank. I've built rockets, so I'll put a few more tutorials on here. We've built a farting fox, which was a rather strange thing, but we'll put some more tutorials on here. We've also made a couple of levels on the older one, so we're going to have a go at banging some levels out on this as well. But thanks for watching the tutorial. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up and a sub, and if you didn't like it, well, you have my apologies. I can't please everyone. Take care and see you soon. Thanks very much for joining us.